Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. All right, you guys. First story up. What did I tell you guys last week? That we're going to have a segment for the shootings that happened that week. This week is no different, you guys. Just yesterday here in Atlanta, right in Midtown, we had a live shooter. It was a situation where the live shooter was on the loose. They didn't know where he was, or at least they weren't letting us know on TV where he was. They had Midtown locked down, sheltered in place until they could figure out where he was. I even had one of the Roxstars that had told me at one point they thought he was on the top of the CNN building, I believe, or something like that. One of the office buildings, maybe on Peachtree. That turned out to not be true. I figured that probably was not the case because they had kind of lifted the stay in place. So let me back up. So apparently Dion, what was his name? Dion Patterson. He and his mom were at a doctor's office right on, I believe it was 14th and Peachtree, West Peachtree. If you guys are familiar with the streets out here, you know there's Spring Street, West Peachtree, and then actual Peachtree Street. And he was at a medical facility. I'm sorry, a medical office with his mother. Apparently, he has issues with anxiety and paranoia. He's a vet. He was in the Coast Guards, they said. And so apparently he had gone to the VA. This is according to his mother. He had gone to the VA about his mental struggles, and they gave him medication. Now, I'm not sure what medication they gave him. The mother was saying that the medication they gave him was incorrect, that he wanted Ativan, I believe is the name of the medication. It's supposed to help with anxiety, depression, paranoia, all of these things. But that is, I guess, not what they had given him. So he was having an episode, and I'm assuming, the story hasn't fully come out yet, but I'm assuming the mom was with him there because they were trying to get a doctor to get his prescriptions correct. I don't know what happened in the lobby there, but he ended up getting agitated enough where he ended up opening fire and shooting. How many people was it? Shot 5 people. One person was killed. Her name was Amy St. Pierre. And then there were 4 other women that were shot and injured, 3 critically, and then 1 that they said was not as critical. We had Lisa Glenn, Georgette Whitlow, Jasmine Daney, and Alicia Hollinger. I'm not really sure which one, but those were the victims that were in the shooting. I think one person was shot in the face. There was one person that was shot in the abdomen. There was another person that was shot in the arm. Those are the 3 people that ended up at the hospital. I'm not sure which of those people that I told you the names of, who has the respective injury. And then the last person was treated, I believe, on the scene, did not need to go to the hospital, or if the hospital did treat them and already sent them home. So 3 critically ill, 1 that was stable enough to go home, and 1 that was killed. A tragedy, definitely so, all the way around. You've got a mother now who has a son who has mental issues, and I don't know if the system has failed him or what, but that's one issue. The larger issue, though, is that we had a man that decided to take the lives, or attempted to take the lives of these women that were in this waiting room, and that's never okay. That's never okay. And so there was a manhunt for him. Apparently he was caught. So today, I don't know why people believe that they can do things and truly get away, because the cameras that are all over the cities now, you're going to be caught on a camera somewhere. And that's exactly what happened. They saw him actually carjack a person a couple of streets over, actually early, like about apparently the shooting happened around 12, and by 12:30 he had already carjacked somebody and was heading out of Midtown. Now I was watching all this unfold on the news, and it was about 3:30, almost 4 o'clock before they finally realized that they could lift this shelter in place, and that they thought that somebody had seen him in Cobb County. Okay, and then the focus of the manhunt moved to Cobb County. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and by the time I finished with my doctor's appointment in Kennesaw and got back home, then they had just captured him. Okay, he was outside of an apartment complex, and they captured him without any issue and took him in for questioning, and I guess they're going to formally charge and book him. But yeah, very, very sad. Once again, we have people that have resorted to taking up a gun and shooting and killing people. I mean, how many times does it have to happen before they realize? Now, I think we've all decided that nobody is getting rid of the guns, so now we got to do something different. They have got to stop people who are able to get a hold of weaponry, who have mental issues. If you're diagnosed with mental issues, then you should not really have access to a gun. Definitely not an assault rifle. Now, he didn't shoot and kill he didn't shoot these people with an assault rifle. He had a handgun, but I heard a report that said that he did have an assault rifle. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. It was so much going on the news yesterday, between me talking to the Roxstar, there was a couple that were down in that area, and then watching it on the news. I think the news had more information than even the people that were that were forced to shelter in place there, because there was just all this confusion of where, of course, they don't want people out their building knowing that this man is possibly on top of oh, Deborah, I gotta call you back, girl. Possibly on top. Hold on, y'all. Hello? I forgot where I was, but yeah, I think I was saying that, the information was just all over the place until they kind of got a beat on where they were. Once they lifted that stay in order, I knew that he was no longer in Midtown. They ended up capturing him with no problem, and like I said, a very sad story. This is a person who is going to be going to jail probably for the rest of his life. This mother now no longer has her son. Those people that were shot will probably have medical issues to come for many, many years, maybe the rest of their life even. And then, of course, the person that was killed is definitely a tragedy, because you are going to the doctor's office and you just really not thinking that you are going to get shot and killed that day. Okay. So my heart goes out to those people who have to go through the terror, who had to go through the terror of looking down the barrel of a gun, a man shooting. His mom was there, like I said. She didn't get shot. He didn't shoot his mother. She actually ran out when he was shooting, just like everybody else did. But she did let the news people know that the issue was that he wasn't given his correct medication. So that is what the story was, at least as of yesterday. Maybe more will come out, and once I know more, I'll let you guys know more. But again, it just goes to say that this is the world that we live in today, that everybody has got to learn now to kind of be in survival mode when you're out, knowing where the exits are, just kind of always keeping your eye on everything, which is a shame. You shouldn't have to be that way, just living your life. Okay, but shit is not as carefree as it used to be, and it's unfortunate. I'm hoping that the man gets whatever mental medical attention that he needs. But again, that doesn't erase the fact that he's killed somebody. And when you do that, there are repercussions. You gotta pay. So that story is just too bad. Glad that more people did not die, because out of all those people, he's at close enough range to shoot all those women, but didn't kill any of them, with the exception of the one. So I mean, that's good. If we could think of any small good thing that came out of this, it could have been way worse. Yeah, prayers up for all the victims, definitely so. Moving on to the next story.
We're too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me.
All right, you guys, so the Met Gala, okay, the theme this year was Karl Lagerfeld, and Mr. Lagerfeld, who died in 2019. They actually dedicated this theme to him. He was Chanel's long time creative director, and everybody that was invited was, encouraged to pay homage to Karl Lagerfeld. And it was an exciting Met Gala. I always watch the red carpets. Like, I love to watch. I love just the whole glitz and glamour of the red carpet. That is my thing. I love to watch whenever the award shows come on. So this was actually perfect, because it was no award show. It was just literally watching people walk and pretty much display their fashions, which is, yes, right up my alley. And then, of course, with it being the theme that it was, I knew that we were going to get quite a few Chanel looks and vintage looks, and just looks that might not be by Chanel, but just everything that was geared towards honoring him and all that he had done for the brand over the years. So let's go down the list of folks. Now, I'm gonna try to put these pictures in, but it's just gonna depend. If I do put pictures in, this is probably gonna be the only part of the video that I have pictures, because I'm not gonna have enough memory. I still haven't got my memory thing. I still haven't got my memory thing together, so we'll see. But if I, hopefully I'll be able to get the pictures in, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. But I'm going to tell you guys what was my favorite looks for the men and the women. We'll start with the men. We'll leave the women for last. And then I'll give you the ones that I was just sort of like not really feeling. Okay. I mean, I'm not, there were a lot that I wasn't feeling, but I'm just gonna, maybe I'll just give you one man and one woman of what I wasn't feeling. How about that? Okay. All right. So did you guys watch the red carpet? It was 3.5 hours of just wonderfulness. It's funny, because when I went to my doctor's appointment yesterday, they had a bunch of Harper's Bazaar magazines, and I forgot how much I miss actually leafing through magazines. We're such a digital people now, that people don't have shit in their hands, tangible things that we can see anymore. And just being able to flip through there and looking at all of the ads for all of the designer things, I had forgotten all about that goodness. And just looking at a Van Cleef and Arpels ad, and the beautiful jewelry and things, like I missed that, so Met Gala gave me that, even though it was kind of, some of the stuff was semi-costumey, but for the most part, the folks did what they came to do. Okay, so let's start with the men. I think my favorite look for a man for that evening was Sean John. Okay, Sean John Combs, Puffy, P Daddy, P Diddy, Puff, Brother Love. He actually designed his outfit. It was Sean John. I think June Ambrose was the person that did his look, and it was fabulous. It was actually a ode to both Karl Lagerfeld and Leon Andrew Talley. Get my words together. That those two actually were very close friends. And of course, we always remember Mr. Talley with his huge, obnoxious capes that would just be beautiful. And Puffy did a take of that, had this huge cape, but also had the big, what do they call those flowers or those things that Chanel usually has on a lot of their things? Like he had that all over there, and there was a mixture of velvet and satin, and it was just beautiful. Absolutely. And I never ever expected to say or think that Sean John would be my best dressed of the Met Gala night, but he definitely was for man. A very close second was Bad Bunny. So Sean John's outfit was all black, okay, with different textures, different materials. Bad Bunny's had a very similar look. It was white instead of black, but it also had those flowers or whatever it is. There's a name for them. It starts with a C. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, he had those all over his suit, all over his pants. At the bottom of his jacket, the back of his jacket was out. He looked so good. First of all, I've never really paid attention to Bad Bunny. And child, I saw him on that red car. I was like, oh, he is a Sue. I don't know if it was that slick back hair or what, but he was looking good. I was just like, okay, if it's really true that him and Kendall are an item, I still think that Kendall is gay. Or she could be bisexual if she is indeed indulging Bad Bunny, whatever. What is his name? Mama named him Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. He is good looking. I was just like, I am not mad. Okay, but yes, loved his outfit. Loved Pusha T, who had on a black and white, Karl Lagerfeld's like signature look was always black and white. He had some sort of variation of black and white on all the time. So that's all you pretty much saw. Every now and then you would see a splash of color on the red carpet, but it was mostly black and white. And he had on a really nice outfit. I like also Brian Tyree Henry. Loved his look. I think he was my third. Okay, I can actually rank the men in order. And then Pusha T would be my fourth. Okay, so those were the four men that stood out for me. Loved the looks of all of them. Now let's move on to the women. Of course, we had more women than men that I was truly enjoying. Dua Lipa, I loved that white dress. The bodice came in, she looked like a Barbie doll. Her bodice came in, it had like a little V that went down, and then the bottom of the dress just fanned out like a huge princess dress. It was all white, and then the piping on the edges of the dress, I believe, was black. Loved it. Penelope Cruz, she had a Chanel look. I believe that was a bridal gown back in the 90s that Karl Lagerfeld had designed. Complete with the veil and everything. Beautiful. She looked angelic. Quinta Brunson is on my I'm not quite sure list. Now, I liked the dress that she had on. It definitely looked much better in person, like when I was watching it on TV than when I was watching it on Instagram. But I felt like it was weird fitting in her middle section. She has a regular grown woman shape like all of us who haven't had work done on our bodies. And so, I think the dress would have had a better silhouette if it could have came in and it was doing something weird up here in the middle. But I did like the pink and the black. I liked the train and everything. I just didn't like the way it was hitting her in the middle, but I still thought that she was one of my favorites. Ice Spice, interestingly enough, she didn't have an overtly out of this world dress. It was white. It was sheer. It had like sheer line that went all the way down on both sides. So some people were complaining about her undergarments. If you looked close enough, you could see, but I was happy to see that the child had something on underneath here. Okay. Cause sometimes people don't have on no clothes. Naomi Campbell, love it. She was one of the ones that had on color. She had on pink, and it had a silver, some silver draping here. I don't know if it was draping. This is by memory, but it was something silver going on one side near the shoulder, and the rest was pink. Beautiful dress. I love seeing Naomi Campbell. Had the bust down 40 inches, it was parted in the middle like she was, Yes. Carly Kloss. If you guys don't know who she is, she was pregnant. I don't know what she do. She must obviously be an actress, but she was pregnant and she had on this black, very form-fitting dress, and she had all these pearls that were strategically placed, and it was an illusion. You couldn't even really tell she was pregnant if you were looking at her, flat on like this. Loved her look. Keke Palmer, I love the whole ode to Robin Givens with the big hair. Kind of reminded you of Boomerang, how Robin Givens looked. I thought she looked beautiful in her white dress. It was strapless. It was also kind of looking tweedish, okay? And yeah, just beautiful. And she has that womanly body because she's breastfeeding. She just had a baby, so she looks very juicy. I tell you, I love to see a juicy woman, okay? So she looks great. Cardi B, loved both of her looks, because you guys know that she came out on it with a pink outfit, or a dress, ball gown, I should say. And then she also had a black and white one. The pink one, I think I really, really liked. I loved all of the headdress and the fur. I mean, she looked like a fucking, spectacular Las Vegas girl. I mean that in the best way, Las Vegas showgirl. But I thought she looked beautiful. And I thought that the black and white was more of the, what you think of when you think of Chanel. But I like them both, actually. Anne Hathaway always does the damn thing. She's like a silent killer. Like, every time you see her, she just looks great. Okay, and she has such a womanly shape as well that she's able to pull off. She don't look very thin and sickly like some other actresses. I understand that the camera puts pounds on them, so they make sure that they, but she looks great. I love the white dress with the clips. It was an ode. I don't think that her dress was Chanel, but it was an ode to Chanel. It was beautiful. Doja Cat. That damn Doja Cat is so fucking funny to me. She is so fucking funny. She came as a cat. I mean, her dress was beautiful. She had on a beaded dress, very form-fitting, and then on her head, she had a headdress. Well, it was sort of like a hood that attached to her dress. Did it attach? I believe it attached to the dress, and it had little cats here. And you guys, that was also because Karl Lagerfeld apparently had cats and loved cats. That damn Doja Cat meowing on the red carpet when people was asking her questions. That shit had me cracking up. Oh my God. She is really, truly hilarious. She is funny. Jenny Ortega, also thought that I loved her look. If I can compare Jenny Ortega's look to Janelle Monáe's look, which I'm not comparing, I'm just comparing the looks, because I didn't like Janelle Monáe's look. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. Okay. But she definitely, I mean, the people on the red carpet, they loved it. I couldn't get with the hoop. I was just sort of like, what is this? You've got on this big jacket, and you take the jacket off, and you've got on like a hoop that people wore underneath their prom gowns, and then you got something. I was just like, yeah. No. So I really actually liked Jenna Ortega's look, because I felt like that was something that Janelle Monáe could have pulled off. But I think Janelle is in this era right now where she's feeling very free because she wears a lot less clothes than she used to. But yeah, Jenna Ortega, she actually looked like one of the Harajuku girls from Japan, or were they from Japan, I believe? Remember the girls that used to be with like Gwen Stefani back in the day all the time? Remember, she was like fully on that whole Asian culture. Jenna Ortega actually looked like she could have been one of those girls. Teyana Taylor is my favorite look of the night. Loved it. And I'm not a big fan of when people pull their clothes down real low on their hips, and then they have like the top is sort of like maybe a body suit or something that's high on the waist, so then you see like this part of their skin out. I'm not a big fan of that look. but it looks good when you have the right body that, you know, that is just no fat, just that little waist. And you guys know I have like an obsession with small waists. Like, that is, if I was to get any kind of work done on my body, it would be a tummy tuck and some liposuction to bring that motherfucker in. I'm talking about just Teyana Taylor, that tweed outfit. It looked like a suit, but it was a dress. You know, that glass is like the whole look. The whole look definitely reminded me of Karl Lagerfeld, especially. But I thought she just looked fabulous. She was my favorite of the night. If I were to pick a second place, I would say Cardi B's pink look. And maybe my third place favorite for the night. Could have been Jenna Ortega. I haven't finished telling you guys my favorite, the ones that I really liked. I also liked J-Lo. J-Lo was another one that was a fave. Oh, that J-Lo never does anything wrong, you guys, when it comes to fashion. She is my fashion. Like, if I could just have her closet, everything that she wears, I like all the time. She is definitely, and it used to be Lala too. Lala not so much anymore, but Lala still does well when it's time to get dressed too, usually. Viola Davis, I love, that was the splash of color that you didn't see much of, but she had on the hot pink number with this boa feathers, like doing something right here. Her and her husband, they looked really nice. Tim's, I did like Tim's black and white look. Young Miami, I actually thought that she looked great. I liked her look. Rihanna does no wrong. I'm sorry, I just love Rihanna. So I'm always gonna, even when she got on some bullshit, it's Rihanna. I love the way it looks. But actually, I thought she looked very pretty in this white dress. It almost gave you a wedding dress feel as well. First of all, she had the big jacket over it with all of those flowers that I told you, that you guys, somebody I'm sure has told me the official name of them. It starts with a C, I believe. But when you took the jacket off, she had on a, you know, skinny strapped heart, kind of like a heart shape up here at the top bodice, and then, you know, long white goes out full train. You know, all of the drama that Rihanna likes to have. It was beautiful. And then she was with ASAP Rocky, and he had on like a kilt but some jeans, you know, very just kind of cool looking. So yeah, those were my looks of the night. And the ones that I didn't like, I already told you guys, I was not a fan of Janelle Monáe's look. I didn't understand Lil Nas X. I mean, you know, maybe he was, you know, I don't know. But he definitely was a moment on that red carpet. But to me, I was just like, why are we wearing this to the ball? But I mean, it is a costume party. So I'm sure that my mind, I'm just not as developed when it comes to fashion and certain things that I couldn't get with that. I also am not a huge fan, even though I know it is very much a Chanel thing, but I wasn't a fan of all of the huge platform boots. I just don't really like that. Like, I mean, you have to really pull it off well to do it right. Some of them did do it right, others didn't. But I realize that it is a Chanel thing. So that is it. Those were my goods and bads and ugly. And of course they had, you know, we saw pictures of when everybody went to the after parties, and I always enjoy the after parties. Probably outfits better than the actual ball outfits, because they can kind of take even bigger risks. So I mean, I won't get into any of those. Like Miami, Young Miami, I can think of hers because I can just see her outfit with her headdress that said CG instead of CC. I thought that was cute. And you know, other people, yeah, I thought they looked. But did you guys see Janelle Monáe dancing on that tape? I said, girl, you must have really been feeling free that night. I was just like, somebody that has always been so covered up, and now she got on like a bathing suit and she's dancing on a table at a I was just like, girl, you was enjoying yourself. I mean, I'm not mad, you know, even though I don't understand why we got on a bathing suit at the party. But I mean, you know, folks don't wear clothes. We done already said that. So, but child, I was just like, I was just like, okay, Janelle, do your thing, so. But yeah, I think that was it. Those are the looks. Yeah, I think I've gone too long. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get everybody's picture in here, but yeah, you guys, that is it. That was my good and my bad and my ugly. Also, while we're talking about the Met Gala, let's talk about some of the talk that happened on there. Of course, since we're talking about Young Miami and Puffy, we had the very cringy moment when they were on the red carpet and Lala was questioning them about their relationship and, you know, kind of putting Diddy on the hot seat, especially with Carisha just coming out last week saying, or a week before, saying that, you know, her and Diddy are no longer a thing, that she is done, you know, with whatever that was. She didn't never put a name on it. But then, of course, at the Met Gala, they were each other's dates and they looked like they totally enjoyed each other. And, you know, it's funny because we be worried about Young Miami, but something inside of me tells me that Puffy also likes her a little bit more than he would like to let on. And I think that Puffy just knows himself and knows that he cannot commit really to any one woman. But I do think that he actually likes Young Miami quite a bit as well. Okay, so we had that weird kind of cringy moment. Also, side note, Young Miami has now claimed that she is bisexual. So if any of you guys were interested, people be killing me. I just be like, ah, you just decide you bisexual. I mean, I guess you just decide. I do believe there are people that are bisexual, obviously, but I also wonder if that's just somebody that just be going through something at the time. All my bisexual rock stars out there, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so that was one of the things that came on the red carpet that night. Also, congratulations are in order to Serena Williams and her husband. Serena did also announce on the red carpet to Lala that she is infanticipating. Okay, good for her. Bringing in a new little baby, you know, to kind of even out that other one, because child, that other one looked like she is spoiled rotten. Okay, you understand me? I'm talking about a hot fucking mess. So bring this new baby and kind of calm that other one down. But yeah, so that also happened on the red carpet. Trying to think if there were any other moments on the red carpet that I can think of. Oh, I can't think of anything right now, but you guys are welcome to add your good, bad, and ugly of the Met Gala. It was exciting this year, wasn't it? Did you guys watch the red carpets too? If you did, or if you were on Instagram and saw everything going on, you guys let me know. What was your good, bad, and ugly?
But we're too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets.
I keep on doing updates on JamieFoxx, but there's really no official update. Okay, and the fact that JamieFoxx has been in the hospital for almost a month now, I am willing to say that Mr. Foxx probably is not doing well. I don't want to put anything negative out there that isn't the case, but he's been in the hospital for almost a month. We have not seen or heard from him. Yes, I know that they have posted a couple of things on his Instagram, but nobody, I'm not even sure that you can say that that is from him. And like one of the rock stars had mentioned in my comments last week, you know, even when Jeremy Renner got ran over by the snowplow, you know, he was making sure to make his presence known on social media because he knew that a lot of people, you know, were wondering what was going on with him. And the fact that we haven't seen JamieFoxx or heard from him makes me feel like, yeah, we had his best friend Charlie Mack come out and ask people for prayers. And some people seem to think that that meant that he was taking a turn for the worse. I'm not sure if that meant that he's taking a turn for the worse. It could just mean that he's not getting any better. Okay. And, you know, usually after some time, if like, for instance, if it was a stroke, and once the body starts to heal, you know, then they can see kind of how you're going to be long term. And now we're getting to the point where they can see if there has been any long-term damage, you know, and if he's going to be able to walk and talk and all of that. And that may be the reality of the seriousness of his illness is probably what Charlie Mack is more talking about than saying that it was a turn for the worse. He's just wanting his friend back to the way he was, you know. So I don't know if it's worse. I just feel like it's not getting any better. Now I told you guys last week that they did continue the movie that he was filming with Netflix with Cameron Diaz. They were at the end of the filming, so they went on and finished up, had a stunt double, and probably are going to do some CGI if they have to, where Jamie's face would be concerned if they need to put anything in. But his show Shazam, if you guys watch that show that he has with his daughter, that show is going into its new season, and the host that's stepping in is Nick Cannon, because JamieFoxx is not able to do it. It's funny because Nick Cannon is the stepper-inner. He is the official stepper-inner of any person that can't get to their job because of illness. He's the one that comes in and sits in for them. Okay, so Nick Cannon to the rescue on this one. But yeah, it really makes me sad knowing that JamieFoxx is going through this, because, you know, right now we're just going on assumptions, which is really not the best, I guess. But I just feel in my spirit that that his condition is very, very serious, and he needs the prayers. So everybody just continue to keep JamieFoxx in your prayers, and hopefully we'll hear something. Hopefully we'll hear something about his condition, you know, better, so we can kind of know better how to direct our prayers. But for right now, we're just hoping that he gets better soon.
I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8, and I knew I was at.
All right, you guys, next story up. So they say your girl Beyonce, okay, owes the IRS $2.9 million in back taxes. Okay, now they're saying that she received a notice of deficiency. I said, girl, baby, honey, let me tell you, I got one of them too. Them motherfuckers tried to tell me, they ain't said that I owed $2.9 million, but they tried to say that we didn't, you know, that there was some money that wasn't claimed. And we had to we're still in the middle of getting that all taken care of. So I know how Beyonce feel, girl. I know how you feel. Fuck the IRS. Oh my God, I swear. The IRS, tax time, my nerves be so bad. And the IRS, anytime I see anything from the IRS in the mail, it's like I truly have PTSD. Like, it's like I immediately get shaky. I get nervous because I already know it's about to be some bullshit about a goddamn money. So Beyonce, she got this notice of petition. Nigga, if I got one for $2.9 million, I can't even tell you what kind of nervous I would have been then. But you know what? More money, more problems. And, you know, Beyonce damn near a billionaire. You know, when you put her empire and Jay-Z's empire together, definitely billionaire status. You know, 2.9 is a drop in the hat, you know. But still, Beyonce was like, motherfucker, you ain't getting another penny out of me. Honey, I done already did what I was supposed to do, and we gonna fight this. So she has requested to go to tax court, because I know this whole process. And it's the same even for the billionaires of the world, okay? The original notice of deficiency claimed that she owed a total of $805,850 from 2018, and then $1,442,747 $1,442,747 from 2019, in addition to a child, we gonna get these numbers. The shit is so big that in addition to the $449,719.40 in combined penalties for the 2-year period, because you know they always got to give you the penalties, right? So all that said, about $2.9 million, and Beyonce was like, I will not be paying that. We can talk about it in front of the damn judge. B argued that she had donated this amount to charity in 2018, that she did not keep that money. If there is a deficiency in her payments, she has acted reasonably and in good faith and should not be required to pay it. All right. So I guess she's saying, damn it, I gave these people this money away. I was really just the middleman moving it along to somewhere else So yeah, she don't want to have to pay that. So she gonna fight it. I am not mad. I hope she wins, honey. I want to hear a story about everybody that wins against the IRS, because they are just the biggest fucking gangsters in this, in these here United States. Ugh. They have been a pain in my ass since 2015, child. Anyway, let me get on off of that subject. But yeah, honey, Beyonce got tax issues just like everybody else. And you guys want to think that Beyonce ain't, just a regular human being. Oh, yes, she is. But Beyonce was like, baby, I'm a rich, regular human being, and I ain't paying that. I ain't mad, B. Fight them. I hope you win.
Since the second grade, man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late. Came from broken.
All right, you guys, next story up. The Writers Guild of America strike. Okay. Everyone at the negotiating table was mad on Wednesday when they finally realized that they were not going to come to any type of agreement. The people had then got together all of their demands, all of their wishes and wants, and had given it over. The folks on the other side was just sort of like hemming and hawing. And finally, the writers decided, okay, you guys are really not trying to even meet us halfway on this one, so we will be striking. Okay, so as of yesterday, Wednesday, they are on strike. Now, what are they striking? They're striking for higher pay. They said that the boom in the movies that are filmed on these streaming services, your Hulu, your Amazon, your Netflix, that now that there's been this huge boom, they don't get paid the way that they would if they were just writing for a regular studio. And they're saying that those wages are not sustainable. Like, you can't pay your mortgage and your rent, especially if you're living in Los Angeles or New York, which is where, Hollywood is. And I guess you can even add Atlanta to that. Atlanta is getting increasingly more expensive as well. And these people cannot pay just a regular quality of life because y'all fucking around with their money. Okay. They were like, a brand new writer, absolutely no way could they live and take care of themselves or a family on what they make. Now, I don't know what they make, but they make it seem like it is very, very low. Okay. So the picket lines formed yesterday outside of more than 12 major studios in Los Angeles and in New York, including Netflix. So Netflix is the main culprit. The people is irritated with Netflix, which I can understand. Netflix makes a lot of, they make a lot of original movies and original TV shows on their streaming service, and these people need to get paid for it. On top of that, they say that they need better working conditions. We have 11,500 members of the WGA, and 98% of them voted to strike. So needless to say, everybody is on strike. So all of these shows now, we ain't got nobody writing. That means that they are not filming any shows right now or movies. It's all shut down. They had back in 2008, I believe it was the last, 2007 was the last Writers Guild of America strike. That one lasted over 100 days. And then they had a strike back in 1988 that lasted 153 days. I'm sure everybody is hoping that it doesn't last that long this time. Even though 3 months, that's just a little over 3 months. That sounds short, but you got to remember 3 months of not paying a bill. Like, you can't pay rent for 3 months. You can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay your credit card bills, your car note, your insurance, all of that. Yeah, then 3 months is a long fucking time, okay? And it can make a very devastating difference in your life if you're not paying your stuff in those 3 months. So I'm sure everybody is hoping that they can get this shit wrapped up. But as of now, it ain't looking all that great. Last time that this happened, 2007, was kind of the birthplace of reality shows because nobody was writing scripted TV or movie. They weren't doing any of that anymore. So that's when we got this just blast of reality shows. And now that reality shows is kind of wearing off and nobody really feel like fucking with them because now people have become celebrities and now they're not reality shows like it should be. It's not really real anymore. Now it's just sort of like, so what everybody gonna be doing now? So hopefully they do get this done. They say the median weekly pay for writers and producers have declined 23% in the past 10 years. Okay, so we're hoping that the streamers in particular are the ones that are getting the pressure. Amazon Prime or Amazon Video and Netflix are the two main people that they have been complaining about. All right, so we'll see how it all turns out. Again, I'm not mad at the writers, okay, because I fancy myself a makeshift writer, and that shit is serious. It's a lot of work, and they need to be compensated for it. So yeah, I hope they get everything and more that they are asking for.
And broken dreams are getting paid. Dollar bill. Listen close, this is not a drill. Cause hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in life, who gon' pay a bill? I've been in action.